Is gold or paper money better? A great question, since gold has gotten more valuable. It went from 3,500 USD to 3,660 USD in a month. That's a crazy amount of value added to gold. So that brings up a few questions. What's the difference between gold and paper money? Why do people want gold more than before? Will you get a girlfriend? These are all questions that will be answered. You will not get a girlfriend. So gold and paper money are different kinds of money. Paper money is fiat money, whereas gold is commodity money. Fiat money is money that is controlled by the government. It's usually made with paper because it's easier to make and transport paper money. Fiat money is valuable because governments say it's valuable. And since people think the government has power, we accept fiat money for goods or services. Commodity money that is valuable because the material itself is valuable. Gold can be used for jewelry or for electronics. Gold doesn't degrade unlike other metals, so maintenance is easier. So which is better, fiat money or commodity money? Let's compare paper and gold with three categories: portability, precision, and stability. Paper money wins in portability because it's easier to carry $100,000 in paper money than $100,000 in gold. Precision, in this case, means can I get $5 of it? Paper money wins in precision since you can get $5 in fiat money. You can't precisely exchange $5 in gold. You can't buy bread with gold. Gold has more stability because governments can't print gold. The Weimar Republic and Zimbabwe printed too much money, so their money became worthless. Gold doesn't have the risk of going to zero like paper money. That doesn't mean gold will always increase in value though. From 1984 to 2004, gold stayed at around the same price, around $500. This was because foreign central banks kept selling their gold. As a result, more gold appeared, which reduced demand and kept gold's price stable. Also, when times are good, you don't need money to be in a stable asset like gold. So paper money wins in portability and precision. However, gold is the winner in stability. In these uncertain times, people don't trust paper money to hold its value and want something that's more stable, so they're buying gold. People don't want paper money since they're worried about how countries will deal with debt problems and how many jobs AI will take. However, people not trusting paper money is not the only reason gold is going up. Governments are buying more gold to reduce the amount of US dollars, the reserve currency. A reserve currency is the biggest amount of currency that all other countries have. No need to convert euros to wons when you can use US dollars. But countries are considering holding more gold instead of USD to reduce investment in the US and lower America's political power. This might make gold the new reserve currency in the future, like 2050. But right now, the US dollar is the reserve currency. The second reason countries want less USD is because of the amount of debt the US has. The US's debt and debt to GDP are rather concerning, but don't worry, it's not the only country with debt problems. France and Italy are countries with big economies that have trillions of dollars in debt, and their debt to GDP ratios are all above 100%. Their debts are more concerning because they have this terrible currency called the euro. The euro prevents these countries from printing money and lowering interest rates to decrease their borrowing costs. That, in theory, should make them more responsible with their budgets. But Greece is an example of the consequences of the euro. Also, the budgets will get harder to manage because these countries need to meet the NATO 5% GDP to defense. The problem is all of these countries have deficits. We can see on this graph they need to spend more to meet the 5% GDP to defense. So where are they going to get that money? Are they going to tax people more? I'm sure people would love to pay taxes for military spending. Everyone loves war. It's very cool and popular right now. Jokes aside, more military spending means more debt, which makes it harder to pay off the debt, which makes politicians ignore it and pass it on to the next guy. With some EU countries and the US having debt issues, people worry about printing money to get rid of the debt, so people will want gold, which can't be printed. That's why gold is going up. Other countries will buy more gold, and people will buy it due to countries having more debt. Thanks for watching, and gold plate the sub button.